Welcome and thank you so much for staying with NTV Weekend Edition. You're still with me, Sandra Twinovideo. Now, for over a fortnight, the Parliamentary Agriculture Committee has been handling the Fish and Aquaculture Amendment Bill. However, the hearings in this committee first caught the attention of the public when the Association of the Fish Exporters proposed that the Nile Perch be reserved for the export market. Just yesterday, there was a proposal for stiff penalties for those found dealing in immature fish. To help us appreciate what is at stake and this bill even further, we have MICHAEL KAKEMBO, who is the Member of Parliament for Entebbe Municipality. A very good evening, and thank you so much for creating time to speak to us this evening.
Thank you, Sandra. Good evening, Sandra, and good evening, our viewers and NTV.
Now, you do come from a community, a fishing community. When you look at this bill, is it addressing the concerns that they have? Is it something that they appreciate?
Sandra, what you should know that the law in place is outdated. It has outlived its usefulness in so many aspects. Now we have a bill before Parliament, and we're going to debate it. In line, of course, with the changing environment. Now, fishing is now a business. It's a fishing industry. By the time they promulgated this law, it was not as so. It was like hobby. People could go and do some small fishing for domestic, and now it's going commercial. So we need to do something and control it. It is attracting so many people, including not only Ugandans. When you go to the lake, you find so many people from Tanzania, Rwanda, and you ask, why are you living in Rwanda? Why are you coming to Uganda? Simply because the law in Tanzania, the law in Kenya, are a little more tougher than ours. So we are getting this influx. They are coming to Uganda. We must control this if you have to have fish. Now, fish is the gold now. We have a mole, yeah, a nuni. That one is very expensive and is very lucrative in terms of, you know, cash. So we have to what do we want? Do we want mokene, the silver fish, or we want the Nile Perch and the tilapia? What is the law in place? How should we manage the fishing industry in Uganda? Look at the lakes. They vary. They're not the same depth. So the law that will work in Lake Kyoga, for example, may not necessarily work in Albert, neither in Lake Victoria. So in Lake Victoria, the law that are there, but they're not friendly with Lake Victoria, I mean Lake Kyoga, because Lake Kyoga is shallow. So when you give a certain size of a net, it may work well in Lake Kyoga. But when you go to Lake Albert, which is deeper, it may not necessarily do the same. So we need to balance the two when we are coming up with a law that will help us, you know, manage the fishing industry. The people who are dealing in fish now, do they have any knowledge about fishing? You know, I looked at the bill. They're talking of training, I don't know, training these people in military skills. And I feel it's not called for yet. You tell me we are training these people in the fishing skills. Take them to Fisher Training Institute. Let them get to know and understand the fish, its character, its behavior, you know, the ecosystem of the fish, you know, than training them into the military skills. So what? The militaries are the people who are dealing in this illegal fishing. They are stopping people from it, and yet they are doing it themselves. And when you give them money, they let you go. So we're having challenges also in those people who are going to manage, because they also lack the skill. They even don't know why they are going to the lake to protect the industry. They may think they have gone there to make money. That's when they give them money, they let them go. So we need people who are trained, you know, a more comprehensive kind of strategy and a law that is going both to guide those who are going to protect, and the fishermen, including us, some of us who enjoy the lake.
You touched at some aspects of this bill, be it the training, military.
Oh, yeah, I saw it there. It's not yet on the floor of Parliament, but yes, we are getting ready to debate it. So we have a copy of the bill. Of course, we are looking at it and see where there are loopholes, so that we organize together.
So give us more details on this bill exactly. Are the things that you feel most pressing at the moment? Do you think that the fishing community, anyone who decides to take part in fishing, should first go through a series of training before they are in this commercial activity?
Oh yes, you have talked of a series of training. Because right now we have a lot of conflict in the waters. We have fishermen who have the hook fishermen, those who are using hooks. These are the small hooks for getting even the Nile Perch. Then we have the Mokene fishermen. Then Mokene is the silverfish, isn't it? And then the Nile Perch fishermen. All of these are at war. The Mokene fishermen think maybe government does not like us. Maybe they want to chase us out of this business so that we leave it to their families and friends. But we are saying, look here, people who are fishing in Mokene, they are a danger to that lake. I must be very honest on this. When you look at the size of Mokene, you cannot tell which size of net should we allow the Mokene fishermen to use so that it will spare a younger Nile Perch or a younger tilapia. So you have to be very careful on that. When you look at the method of fishing, when you the method of Mokene, they use these lights, powerful lights. And the fish like a Nile Perch and a tilapia, they don't like that, such kind of big light. That's why we fish at night, when it is dark. A mere moon may scare away fish. So when you put those big lights on the water, you are chasing away fish. People are complaining that we no longer have fish in the lake, and I'm like, no, no, no. Look here, we are not lacking fish. The method of Mokene fishing, where you're using those powerful lights on the lake, fish migrate. They move in groups. So they migrate and go to Kenya or to Tanzania, where it is darker. So how are we going to control those big lights on the lake? By the way, there is a problem even to navigation. When you're sailing at night, you cannot sail on Lake Victoria when those Mokene guys are still there. You try and go there one time and see.
Well, let us now speak about the penalties. Yesterday we did pose a question to the general public, and most of the views, if I remember some, they were saying the penalties are a bit harsh. You know, the 7 years and also the 200 million. What are your thoughts on that? Is this something that you think is workable?
Have you talked of the penalty? Why should we penalize anyway?
Those dealing in immature fish.
Should we give light penalty and yet we want to protect the lake? Should we put in place a simple penalty that is friendly for everyone to break the law simply because the penalty is weak? I don't buy into that. I don't want to buy into that. A penalty remains a penalty, and its main objective is to stop us from doing that. So, however, what I need to concentrate on is to train these people. You want to do business, we want fish for our country, it's a source of employment for many Ugandans. How should we protect it? Let us follow the law, if it is for the good of all of us. This business of, criminals are very funny. They don't want tight laws. They feel like we need a friendly law. There's nothing like a friendly law. A punishment is a punishment. If you break the law, face it. You should be ready that if I break the law, I'm going to face something big. Yeah, because the objective is to prevent. We can't prevent when we're relaxing. Yes, that issue of...
So the penalty should stay.
It should go higher.
Yeah.
Should be heavy punishment so that it will protect our lake. It is very serious.
Well, some of the views that were coming through, they were saying that this is likely to lead to corruption tendencies. For those, the back the door dealings, where of course you want to dodge the penalty.
I told you that we need a more comprehensive kind of strategy. We are going to train. I was at Fisheries Training Institute one time and I was advising. Now we are graduating these young boys and girls who have got the passion of the fish. Because even when you look at their motto, they like fish. The best food is fish. You understand? Yeah. These should be the people we train to go into the protection industry now. Leave the soldiers, the UPDF out of it. If you need military skills, let us train these people who already have the skills, the knowledge, the passion. They know what they're going to be doing in the lake. The problem we are having now, we are picking soldiers from Karamoja who have been fighting Ekoni to go and protect the lake. They don't even understand why you are telling them to protect the lake. That's why when they're giving them, you give them some small money, they will let you fish because they don't understand it anyway. Yes. What I'm saying, can't we get these young boys and girls who have just graduated from Fishery Training Institute, because they have it all now, If means training them into military skills, we can train them for only 1 month. Let them go and do the fish protection unit work on the lake because they know why they're doing it. When you tell a UPDF person to go and protect a fisherman from going into, we call them eviondo, those breeding centers where fish go and, you know, lay eggs. This one, they don't understand it. Why should we protect people from going to eviondo? But a person who has graduated from Fisher Training Institute, he knows that where I am now, this is the breeding center for the fish. We must protect it for a reason. We want fish to multiply. A UPDF officer doesn't understand that unless you are going to take them into another 2-year training at Fisher Training Institute to understand fish, to love fish, to develop the passion for fish. So we need to change this. If we are very serious and want to protect the lake, I am saying, these boys who have just graduated don't have jobs. Most of them are unemployed. Let's give them only 1 month training into the military skills, anyway, if it is necessary, and let us employ these people to go and protect what they know best.
Now, Mr. MICHAEL KAKEMBO, as we conclude our conversation this evening, how would you want your people in your constituency to benefit from this bill? We have the taxes at the back of our minds, the penalties as well. How would you want them to benefit from this bill, and how can they actively participate in it to see that it is passed? Well,
a bill has quite so many issues on the table, and we're going to, a few of them we shall debate. Of course, those who don't work out for us, we shall, of course, rebel against them, seriously. But the fishing industry is a source of employment for my people in Entebbe, and a source of revenue for the local government, and a source of revenue for the fishing, the Ministry of Fishing and the Fisheries, because they issue license and that's all. So as we protect my fishermen, because there's a lot of money in it, what is best for them? That's why we have started our consultative meeting, that yes, we need the fish. Without the fish, we cannot have this business. So what should we want more? Should I let you go to fish, you know, using bad methods, finish the fish, or chase away our fish, go to Kenya, you understand? And then we don't have fish here, the whole industry will go down. Bottom line, let us start protecting the fish, allow it to grow, so that this business, we can talk of it. You can't talk of a fisherman if there's no fish in the lake.
True.
You can't talk of a fishing industry if there's no fish in the lake. Let us first look at how are we going to protect our fish, that it multiplies and it grows, for the fishing industry to grow, and we shall begin from there.
Thank you so much, Mr. MICHAEL KAKEMBO, for joining us this
You are welcome.
He is the Member of Parliament for Entebbe Municipality, speaking to us on the recently the amendment bill that is being tabled. Of course, the fish and aquaculture. We wait to see what happens, but like you mentioned, there are a number of issues that still need to be debated, and they will be put on the floor of Parliament, and we'll keep you updated on that as well. We'll take a short break, and we'll be back with more stories on NTV Weekend Edition.